Here's a lesson on using approach note patterns as a motivic development technique. This is based on the 11th chapter of my book Improvising with Motives. Approach notes are notes used to approach a target note. This can be anything, but it's most commonly a chord tone. In this lesson, however, I'm going to use the notes from a motive as a target note. In this lesson, I'm going to use this simple motive. This is using the C major scale, and I'm just going up a major third twice. Now, while any of these 4 notes can be used as a target note, the one that will keep the motive the most recognizable is targeting the first note. So that is what I'm going to focus on the most in this video. Let's take a look at a couple of approach note patterns before we start looking at the solo I played in the opening. One of the most simple approach note patterns is just playing a diatonic note below the target. This means playing the closest note from the scale that is below the target. In this instance, the target note is this, and a diatonic approach from below will be this. I can also play a chromatic approach note below the target. This will be the closest half step below the target note. We can also approach the target note from above. A diatonic approach from above will be the closest scale note above the target note. I can also combine it to play a diatonic from above to a chromatic from below. Now let's take a look at the opening solo in this video. At first I just play the motive. Then I circled around the target note by playing the target note itself first, then a diatonic approach note from above, back to the target note, then a chromatic approach note from below. Then, to create some variation, I added something else after the motive. Then, on the next use of the motive, I use a double chromatic from below. As you probably heard, I also repeated the second note of the motive. This is just to create some more variation. Then I go into something else after the motive. Then on the next use of the motive, I play something else even before the approach note. I play this. Then I play an approach note pattern that is a double diatonic from above to a chromatic from below. A double diatonic from above will be 2 scale notes above the target note. The target note is this. If I follow the C major scale up, I get... So it's this starting note going to this. That's the double diatonic from above to a chromatic from below. Here I also am repeating the second note of the motive again. So then I end up with this. In the last part of the solo, I also play something before the approach note pattern. I play this. And then I start the approach note pattern. Here I'm playing the target note. And I'm going to a chromatic below and back to the target note. If you want to know more about using motivic development techniques for improvisation, check out my book Improvising with Motives. You'll find a link in the description below.